but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. Treat me like the worst thing you ever seen. Treat me like the worst thing you ever seen. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so cruel.
Why, hello and welcome to the Tipsy Pollock. We are a weekly podcast hosted by me, Nate Wazinski, and co-hosted by Jarvis Jermaine Little. What is the Tipsy Pollock? Well, the Tipsy Pollock is a place where you can come and you can talk about and joke about anything. We can put anything on the table. What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about religion? Shoot, we got it. We'll talk about religion all day, son. You want to talk about how many genders it takes to shave a baby? We'll talk about some gender issues. You want to talk about difference between sexes, between men and women? I don't know, maybe you want to talk about how many Q-tips I can fit in my mouth. You want to talk about Jarvis's collection of human teeth? How about that border wall? We'll talk about it. Violence, gun control, the Kardashians, butter in your coffee, covered. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about all that stuff, son. And we'll do it while reviewing a weekly beer. That's right. We review beer right here on the Tipsy Pollock. We wouldn't be the Tipsy Pollock without doing some beer reviews. Yo, sometimes we just get serious and we just, kind of look to each other. We look into each other's eyes and we'll cry or we'll share a moment. Maybe I'll cup my hand ever so gently and I'll set my hand right inside of Jarvis's gigantic palm, and we'll just share a moment sometimes, and it's beautiful. We'll have beautiful moments here on this show where not only do we laugh, but we share a tear, we share a beer. So I want you to accept the invitation. I want you to accept the invitation to be a part of what we have going on here at the Tipsy Pollock. And we are so glad you decided to join us today. Be a part of the conversation. Don't just listen to this nonsense from these silly wagons. What I want you to do is I want you to go to our social media pages. You can go to if you're on Facebook, go to our Facebook page, the Tipsy Pollock Podcast. If you're on Instagram, go to the Tipsy Pollock. If you're on Twitter, the Tipsy Pollock Podcast. Or you can email us if you're like a caveman. If you're a caveman, you can email us and ask us how to build a fire or how to use maybe a lighter or a torch. If you found a torch or something, you can just email us anything, your opinions, your thoughts. If you love this show, if you think it sucks, and you know what, we will probably read your stuff on air. So once again, write us at thetipsypollock@gmail.com and follow us on all of our social media, and we will send every single one of our listeners $3,000. No? Okay, so we cannot send any of our listeners any amount of money at all. I read that wrong. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to this week's edition of the Tipsy Pollock.
I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean.
Well, hello, everyone. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year's. Did you get everything you wanted? Did you? Did you get everything you wanted? Was Santa nice to you? Did you celebrate the birth of Jesus? What did you guys do? What did you guys do for Christmas? Did you get drunk and say something stupid? Did you embarrass yourself in front of your in-laws? Did you hit on a cousin? Did you stand up in front of your family, take your shirt off, and tickle your nipples? Or did you just hit your kids? Is that something that you do over the holidays? I don't know. We do in my house. I hit all my kids. I hit them all. I went right down the line and hit every one of my children really hard, right in the face for Christmas. I'll tell you what I did. We hung out. I had my family over, had my extended family over to our house. I made the prime rib. That's fucking right. You better believe it. I made the prime rib. I made the main course, not my wife, not my mom. I did that shit. So you better give me some respect. And that stuff, it was delicious. It turned out perfect. It was medium. It was amazing. Had some pink in the middle, the outside. Just want to thank Jimmy Wade publicly for that recipe. I know it's not difficult to cook prime rib, but I did it. I'm proud of myself, and that's an accomplishment that I'm going to add to my repertoire. Freaking killed it. Freaking killed it. Everybody loved it. Everybody was complimenting it. No one talked shit about the prime rib. Even my mom, who has some critique to say about something that I do all the time, she didn't have shit to say because it was perfect, delicious. And I hope your Christmas dinner was just as delicious as the one that I made. Notice that there was no mention of my wife putting in tireless hours to make all the desserts and all the sides, and she made I don't even remember now. She made some really delicious food, and my mom brought some stuff over. My sister brought some stuff over and some alcohol. My brother-in-law, my nephews were there, my sons, my daughter. Yeah, it was just a good Christmas for us. So we had lots of fun. There was good beer. My wife got me this amazing whiskey from Burnside Distillery, which is here in Portland, and it is amazing. Oh, good. I'm glad I left my phone volume on so I could get the ESPN updates while I'm sitting here trying to freaking record. Anyway, so then New Year's comes along and we don't do shit because we had everyone over for Christmas. We had a house full, and you know how that goes. You have a house full. There's just something about, I don't know if it's just me or whatever, but if you have a house full of people, it just puts you in a different space. You know what I mean? Especially like you have to host people. You have to make sure everybody's happy, that everybody's comfortable taking a shit in your bathroom, that they know where the beverages are so that they can, you know, it's just a little bit of work hosting Christmas dinner. So we didn't do shit for New Year's. We just sat around, just me, my wife, my boys, and we watched TV. And then about, I don't know, 10 minutes to midnight, we turned it over and watched Steve Harvey, who was dressed like Darkwing Duck for some reason in some purple Louis Vuitton suit. Yeah, or Gucci. I don't know what the hell. He was dressed like a pimp, and he had that beard going on, and he sang a song. I don't know. Anyway, 10 minutes. We did the countdown. We celebrated. We hugged and kissed each other, and yeah, then we went to bed. And that's what happens when you've been married for as long as I have, and you have two boys living at home. You just kind of quietly celebrate, and yeah, then you go to bed. You celebrate going to bed. That's what you do when you're my age. It's just you get so excited. I don't know about you, but I get so excited about going to bed. There's just something about going to bed. Like I get all, you know how when you're a kid, you get excited on Christmas morning. You wake up at like 4 a.m. The sun isn't even up yet. You have that like excitement. You run down the stairs to see your stocking. That's the same emotion that I get when it's like 10 minutes to my bedtime. Like I get all happy. I can feel what my pillow feels like on my head. And that's the kind of life that I live right now. That's the kind of life that I live. I've been going to the YMCA though. I've been taking my boys to the YMCA. We've been balling, and yeah, that's how you find out how out of shape you really are. Because it's been a couple years since I've stepped on a basketball court. Started shooting, and I just wanted to go and drown myself in the pool because it is a complete. It's like living in a different body. You know what I mean? Like you play some sort of sport as a kid, and then you get back on the basketball court or whatever the field as an adult, and then you're like, man, I used to be able to do this stuff, and now I can't do this stuff. And me, I got small ankles, so I got to be careful. I got big old calves. I got a big frame sitting on these small ankles, so I can't be out there trying to shake and bake. Can't be out there shaking bacon. Anyway, so we've been going to the YMCA. My boy's been going to the YMCA. It was funny. The first day that we went to the YMCA, me and my son are shooting around, and we're playing one-on-one, and we're just kind of goofing off, and I'm sweating pretty heavily, and then I don't want to let my son know that I'm getting tired because he's like really pushing himself and he's into it, and I don't want to let him in on the fact that I'm dying. So this one kid comes along. He's like, "Hey, you want to play one-on-one?" to my son. And my son's like, "Oh, I'm playing with my dad." I'm like, No. Go ahead and play. I made my son play one-on-one with some kid so I could get a breather. But I didn't let my son know. You can't let your kids know that you're getting tired. They got to think you're Superman. You know what I mean? They gotta believe that dad is some sort of superhero that you're really not. Years later, he's going to find out how big of a loser I really am. So I want to yell at you parents out there for a second. So listen up. Listen up. Look, you have no excuse for raising a piss bag of a human being. None. If you out there are a parent of a kid under the age of 18 and he's a shithead or she is a little shithead, that's on you. You can't blame anybody for how big of a shithead your kid is. You can't blame an absent parent. You don't get to blame the system. You don't get to blame police officers. You can't blame teachers. You can't blame anybody but you in that trash bag of a human that you're raising. Look, I understand that being a parent is an important thing. It's an important role. It is probably, without putting any form of thought into it, it's probably the most important role that you can have in a human being's life is a mother or a father. You are responsible for the trajectory, big word for the Tipsy Pollock podcast, but for the direction of your kid's life, right? And I think we can get a little bit serious here for a second. But if you have a kid and they're doing shady shit and you don't stop them, you don't stop them from doing shady shit ever, right? That shit is on you. That shit's on you. I know this. There's a situation going on right now in my extended family. I'm not going to go into it by detail, but I'm just going to say this. Like, parents, you have a responsibility to your kids. You have a responsibility not to boyfriends or girlfriends. I understand if you're a single mother or a single father, like you're out there and you want to find love, but that's not your priority. Your priority should never be another human being outside of your children that you are supposed to raise. Because you know what happens when you raise these friggin' dumpster fires? You release them into society, and then we have to deal with them. We have to deal with these assholes that you're raising. So do a good job. don't just do a good job for everybody else. Don't do a good job, for society. Do a good job for your kids. They deserve a mother and a father who consistently discipline them, not abuse, but consistently and lovingly abuse them. Fucking hit them right in the head. Right in the fucking kisser. Every once in a while, a dad should be allowed to just haul off and punch his kid right in the face. I'm just kidding. We need to not only discipline our kids, but we need to give them a sense of belonging. I think there's this emphasis in today's culture, especially reading like shit on Facebook about, when I was raised, I got spankings, and you know what that gave me is, some sense of not hurting anybody else and being respectful of adults and things like that, which an element of that is true. Like, you do got to spank your kids, but here's the deal. You got to make them feel loved. You got to make them feel loved and belong. And if you're out there chasing dick, your kids don't feel belonged. They don't feel a belonging in your family. If you're out there and your main focus is on, chasing girls or out there friggin' chasing guys, then your attention is not on your children and raising your children. It's on titties and it's on friggin' girl, it's like, it's not on your kids. Refocus your fucking attention and stop raising assholes is what I'm trying to say. Discipline consistently. Make sure they feel loved. Make sure they feel belonged. Stop throwing fucking money at problems. A lot of you parents throw money at problems. Your kids whine. And so you throw money at them. You buy them just shit. You buy them shit that is going to get them out of your hair. And it's going to make them a worse human being. All it is all you're doing is giving them tools to destroy their life. And that's no one else's problem but yours. You are the problem. And the solution, guys, is to start being consistent in your kids' life. Be consistent in your kids' life. Be consistent. Be fucking consistent. This makes me mad that I have to say this. It makes me mad that I got to talk to you motherfuckers this way. But some of you don't get it. Some of you bitches out there don't understand how to raise a fucking kid. And I'm not saying bitches as in women. I'm saying bitches as in absent parents. Men and women. Now, if you're an absent father, then you are the biggest bitch of all. You're the biggest bitch. If you put another human being above your kids, if you're single and you're putting another human being, some lady you found on fucking Tinder or farmersonly.com or Facebook or maybe she's just trying to get her green card. I don't know. Maybe some girl's trying to get her green card and you think she, maybe has a nice chin. So you want to give that love some a chance, right? Stop that shit. Raise your fucking kids. Be an adult. Put your shit on the back burner. You had your shot. You had a shot. You know what you did with it? You brought kids into this world, then you fucked up your relationship. That's not your kids' fault. That's your fault. So now you get to raise these kids. Stop making them shitheads. Stop making them shitheads. Make them work. Give them chores. Take away video games sometimes. Stick to punishments. Beat their ass. This is all common sense shit that none of you motherfuckers are doing. You know how I know? Because I see one shithead after the next of this young generation. I saw this group of young kids like 2 months ago tried to let the air out of my fucking camp trailer tires. I lit all of their heads on fucking fire and buried their bodies. That's right. If you fuck around, I will bury your kids. Because you're not teaching them shit. So you know what? Maybe in a few years, you can grow up and you can try again. You can make another one. They'll look just like the other one. I'm so sick and tired of these shithead kids being raised by shithead parents. And then the shithead parents act like the victim. And all their friends gather around and say, it's not your fault. It's so sad what all these kids are what this out of control kid is doing to you. No, you know what? Fuck you, because you didn't take the time. You didn't take the time to raise your kid. So he turned into a shithead. She didn't know any better. Your daughter didn't know any better. Now, I'm not saying like all kids that get into trouble are shitheads. Like we've all been, we've all had our rebellious moments and done stupid stuff. I'm talking about like the consistent behavior of a real turd. That's the kind of person that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the kid who, is struggling to find his way, and so he makes some mistakes, or he gets caught drunk driving, or just doing something stupid, and then lessons are going to be learned as kids grow up. Like they'll be learned by doing stupid stuff sometimes. I get it. I did stupid stuff. I still do stupid stuff. But I'm talking about the consistent behavior of a moron kid. Just watch Dr. Phil 6 times. It's like every 6 episodes they have another fucking kid on there. And it's like they're from a different planet. I saw this Dr. Phil episode where this girl was absolutely sobbing because her mom wouldn't buy her a fucking G-Wagon. That girl needs to be buried. And then that mom needs to be kicked in the fucking head. And then a couple years down the road, she can start over once she gets her shit on right. And she can have another kid, and we'll see how she does with that one. But I'm just sick of these kids. Like, I'm sick of, number one, I'm sick of these asshole kids and the way that they disrespect adults. But even more than the kids, I'm sick of these parents raising these fucking kids. I'm sick of these parents raising maybe we don't need to bury the kids. Maybe we need to bury the fucking parents. Here's the deal. I have a solution. If you raise a shithead kid, right? If you raise a shithead kid, like a consistent shithead kid, you get like, I don't know. We'll categorize it like 6 shithead mistakes. You get 6 shithead mistakes, and then after the 6th shithead mistake, we take your kid away, and they can be raised by people who are mentally available to raise a child. But then we take you off into a camp. We take you into a camp, and you get to work. You get to build the wall between Mexico and America. That's what you get to do. We're going to take all the shithead parents, and we're going to fucking bust your asses down to the border, and you're going to build Trump's wall, and we're going to cut the price of that so I don't have to, pay 15 more cents on my fucking gas or whatever. That's how we're going to solve 2 problems in one. So we're going to limit the amount of shitheads in this world and also we're going to lessen the gas tax or the soap tax or whatever they're going to tax to build this fucking thing. And we're going to get, some free labor. And it's going to be good for you. It's going to be good for you. You guys are going to learn lots. You guys are going to learn lots and lots. But one thing you're not going to get to do is you're not going to get to congregate around each other and feel sorry for one another because you're the fucking problem. Sick and tired of all these parents. Like even the ones on Dr. Phil, they go Dr. Phil and they expect Dr. Phil to be like, oh, poor poor mom, this out of control teen has just put you through so much stuff. This out of control teen. I like Dr. Phil though, because Dr. Phil will be like, nah, bitch. I don't think I've ever heard him say nah. I've heard him say bitch though. But what I'm saying is like, he'd be like, nah, it's your fault, dog. It's your fault. This is on you. You gave this girl $5,000 a week allowance. And she's complaining when you want to cut it to 1,000. No, you started off high. That's your fault, you moron. Stupid parents, man. Stupid freaking parents. And then I don't know what to do. I have an idea. I'm not going to rehash it. It's shit, man. Light your own head on fire and then walk into oncoming fucking traffic. How about this? How about all these shithead parents go outside and stare into that thing that was on, what's that fucking movie, Bird Box, and kill yourself. Go sit in a fucking car fire. Just walk. That's what, there's a scene in this movie Bird Box when, if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's an all right movie. I think it was a little overhyped, but it was all right. But there was a scene where Sandra Bullock leaves the hospital and they're driving down. The world's in absolute shambles. Everybody's killing themselves. And her sister's driving down the street super, super fast. And she sees this whatever. It doesn't say what it is. But obviously whatever these people are looking at is giving them something that makes them kill themselves, right? So her sister, rolls the car and then steps in front of a fucking garbage truck. And then after that, she's like, Sandra Bullock is scrambling, doesn't know what to do. And this lady comes outside, let me help you. And then walks right past Sandra Bullock into this car that is up in flames and just sits in it and kills herself. I think that is what you should do if you are unwilling to change as a parent raising a shithead kid. I think you should walk outside and walk your fucking dumb ass into oncoming traffic or sit your ass in a car fire and just don't get out. You just sit in there and you let society reestablish itself once again. That's what you should do. I'm just sick and tired of it. And that's my rant for that. So just some encouragement. If your kid is a piss bag and continuing to, and you ask me, Nate, well, what am I supposed to do? My kid is out of control. You get them help. You take away their shit. I guarantee every boner of a kid that I know of that has been out of control, their parents have shoveled just privileges at them like they are rights. They have given them video game systems and flat screen TVs and all sorts of stuff, the money, computers, and all sorts of shit, just giving it to them, and they're absolutely spoiled. How about taking some of that stuff away, getting them into counseling, teaching them a work ethic, even if you have to drop them off at like an after school program or get them into the Scared Straight program, like the parents on that program, I applaud all those parents on the that program on A&E, Scared Straight, where I don't even know if it's on anymore, but I love watching those kids just cry in jail. Because that's what some of these kids need. And watching that show, like, it's so funny. But I applaud those parents. Because they're trying. They're doing something. And if you're a parent that's tried everything, once they're 18, kick them out of the house. Fucking gone. You raise them in a prison cell with no TV, no whatever. And then you know what? Because here's the thing. They're going to run away anyway. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about, really. I just know this. My daughter was out of control for a good year, right? She was, and here's some personal stuff that I'm gonna let you in. She was doing some crazy stuff for about a year. Her senior year started, okay, 2 years. It started her junior year and went into her senior year. Senior year, we couldn't even take it anymore. So by then we had taken everything away from her, right? She was in counseling. We had paid for her counseling. She was in she had all of her stuff taken away. She, at one point in time, she had a TV in her room and she had video game systems. We paid for her phone. You know what? All that shit was taken away. All that shit was taken away. And then we came to a point where my wife and I had enough, and there were boundaries that we set. That's another thing. Parents don't have boundaries. They let their kids walk all over them, and when they cross a boundary, the parents don't deal with it. So now that they let the kids establish the boundaries of what they're going to say and do. This is crazy to me. So we have a boundary in our house: no drugs. Like no drugs in our house. Well, we found drugs in our house. So what did my wife and I do? We told my daughter that you have a choice. You can either stop doing drugs and get into rehab, or you can leave. The door is open. We're not going to stop you, but you need to get some help. And she chose to leave. So her senior year in high school, she left our house. And she took off and she lived with a friend for her whole year. And you know what? She's 19 now, and her life is dramatically different. She has a kid, so I'm a granddad. A little before my time, right? I'm 37 years old, so it's a little before my time. But you know what? My daughter is on a healthy path. She's got a full-time job. She works hard. She takes care of her kids. When she comes to my house, she is sober. She's respectful. She's a good kid. Because I don't think she would be the same person if we allowed her to stay in our home and do that shit that she was doing. We didn't kick her out, but we gave her a choice. We said, you can't stay here and do drugs. We want you here, but if you're going to stay here, you're going to go to rehab. And she chose to leave. She walked out. And you know what? We didn't financially support her that whole year when she came, talking about how life was hard. Like we would listen to her, but we didn't invite her back to live with us. Not that whole year. You know what? Necessity is the mother of invention. That's what Dr. Phil says. That's what Dr. Phil says. Necessity is the mother of invention. And she was out on her own and she didn't have mommy and daddy to coddle her anymore. She invented a way to graduate high school and to pay for her own way. And she did it. She stepped up and she did it. And I'm so proud of who she is becoming as a young woman. But parents today let their children establish what boundaries they're going to have in their house. And that's why they're assholes, is because if you let a kid with no sense of right or wrong, because you're the parent, you're supposed to teach your kids what is right and what is wrong. And when they do the wrong thing, you have to teach them that there is consequences in life. And that when you do wrong, the consequences are going to come knocking on your door and you're not going to be able to shake them. But if you raise a kid and you never ground them and you never take away things and you always coddle them and it's always somebody else's fault that they got into trouble, or you're blaming it on a ADD, or my kid has problem paying attention, or whatever you want to blame it on, besides the fact that you're a shitty parent, who is inconsistent. I don't even know where I was going. I'm just pissed. I'm pissed. Pissed at all these parents. Fucking send your asses to work camp. Fucking build the wall. I don't even care. I don't even care what side of the aisle you're on, Democrat or Republican, if you're for the wall or against the wall. Fucking build a wall. I don't care if it's around New Mexico. I don't care if it's around I don't know, Kentucky. Build a wall around Kentucky, but bring these fucking lazy ass parents to build the fucking wall. Build a wall. Build something. You know what you guys can do? You guys can build mental what is it called? Mentally ill? No, I don't know what you call it. Mental disease, mental illness hospitals. That's what you can do, and get some of these fucking bums off the street. That's another thing, man. Bums. I'm bringing the word back. I'm bringing it back. Bums. I want everybody who's listening, I don't care where you're at. If you're listening, I just want you to say it out of your mouth one time, even if you have to whisper it because you're in a cubicle. I want you to say it with me. Say bums. Do you feel that? I know you feel that. It feels good, doesn't it? Bums. That's what we used to call them. You fucking bum. They hassle you for money. Get off me, you fucking bum. Right? That's what we call them. Now we call them houseless individuals. That's what we have to call them. Houseless individuals. Go fuck yourself. Because I'm not calling them houseless individuals. Do I sound angry today? Do I sound angry today? I'm not angry. I just got some shit to get off my chest. And the shithead kids was one, and the fucking bums is another thing. Like, I am so sick of these motherfuckers thinking that I owe them some shit. You see what kind of mess these dirtbags leave? This is what happens when you don't raise your kids right. Is you have all these people who think the world owes them and that they don't have homes and they have to live in a tent in a freaking Kohl's parking lot or an abandoned park somewhere because of somebody else's shit. That's not mental illness. That's freaking... That's being a bum. That's fucking lazy. You're not mentally ill. You're a bum. You know how I know? Because I know mentally ill people and they pick up their paper. Just because you have a mental illness doesn't mean you can't pick up your Hershey's wrapper and put it in the garbage can. And also, what are you doing with the Hershey's bar? I saw 3 fat homeless people. 3 overweight homeless people. 3 fatties that live in a tent. That's not homeless. That's laziness. You have no reason to... 2 things, two qualifying factors. I'm not going to help you out if you're homeless. Number 1, if you're fat, because you're fine. You're eating fine. You're going to survive the winter. You can go weeks without food. And number 2, if you own a dog, fuck you. You don't need help. You have a pet. Like, if you're homeless and you have a pet, you're not getting my fucking help. If you're a fucking bum who's fat and has a dog, go to work. Go to work. I don't care where. Go to work at McDonald's. Gather up your other bum friends so that they can work at various fast food joints. Burger King, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, wherever. You guys can put your money together and get an apartment, and you guys can all be roommates. So you don't have to live in a tent, and I don't have to clean up your shit or step on your needles or whatever it is. Stop shitting on the sidewalks. Give your pet up to someone who can take care of it. I don't know. I'm a moron, so, whatever. All right, I had to give myself a little bit of a break. I'm going to go eat. See what happens? You see what happens when you try and change your life? I start to get all grumpy. That's not how I want to be. You think I want to be like this? You think I want to be all mad at homeless people and yelling at parents of stupid kids? It's not how I want to be. Or is it? Just I think I like that. I like being annoyed to a degree because then it gives me something to talk about, something to rant about. I don't know. But yeah. So I'm sorry if I sound angry. I'm not angry. I am angry. Who am I kidding? I'm angry and I want to get all this stuff out. It's the new year, so maybe I'm just purging. I'm purging my soul. I'm purging all the negative thoughts, and I'm basically vomiting it up onto you guys. So I appreciate you listening if you've hung in here for this long. Yeah. So I've probably got some more. Wasn't that fun? That was fun. That was fun. That was fun. Isn't it just feel good? You just got to get all that stuff off your chest. Just get it out there. Just throw it up into the universe and let it go. Right? I don't know. All right, changing gears here for a second. I was reading some news articles and I came across this one that I thought was hilarious where this lady in Wisconsin woke up and found some dude sleeping with her 150-pound Mastiff on New Year's morning. This guy came. Okay, I'm just going to read the article because I'm stupid. This lady said she found a strange man sleeping with her massive Mastiff, Benton, on a doggy bed on New Year's morning. She said, I woke up and saw someone over here on this dog bed. I'm assuming she's pointing at the dog bed. And so she and her roommate ran into the kitchen, grabbed a knife when we were scared. The woman called 911 and reported the intrusion. He was out. I love this quote. He was out. Even when I went to pull Benton, the guy didn't move. Like, she went to go, this poor dude went out and he friggin' tore up. He was in the club. He was friggin' doing his thing. And he was having just a good time. He was partying. He went to go home. I'm assuming he Ubered home. And he went into this lady's house and fell asleep with her dog. You know how friggin' drunk you have to be to go into someone else's house and fall asleep with their dog. No concern. Just like, oh, that. And it's a huge dog. What was this guy thinking? What was this guy thinking? He was tore up. That's what he was thinking. So the police officers who showed up woke the sleeping man up and asked him if he knew where he was. The man said he needed his glasses. Like, excuse me, sir? Sir. No, what's up? Do you know where you are? Do you know where you are? Hold on. I need my glasses. So they handed him his glasses, and once he put them on and looked around, he said, oh, yeah, this isn't my house. This is not my house. He had to put on his glasses to figure out he's not in his house. He must be really blind. Like, you're in a dog bed, bro. Like, you could have come to that conclusion just in well, poor dude. So he puts on his glasses, realizes he's not at his house, and so the dog's unexpected sleeping partner turned out to be a 21-year-old neighbor. who somehow confused his home with the lady's home and entered it through an unlocked side door, according to this news outlet. So, what can we learn from this article? What can we learn, kids? Kids, what can we learn from this article? We can learn a couple things. Number one, if you're two single ladies or just two ladies living together in general, lock your shit up. Do you really? And this is in Wisconsin. The home of making a murderer? Okay, your police systems out there are screwed up. They're jacked up. So, keep your shit locked. Keep a gun on you. You know, I don't know. And number two, if you're drinking, have a buddy system. You need to write, this is what you need to do, okay? So I'm a little bit older, I'm going to help you young guys out. And ladies too, this is going to help you out. Before you go out on the town and you know you're going to be having a few drinks, this is what you need to do. You need to write a note to your Uber driver. You need to write a note to whoever's taking you home and let them know, my name is blah, blah, blah. You know, whatever your name is. My name is Jeffrey Nickleby. And I live at this address. Make sure I get, well, I don't know. Second thought, you don't want to be, having a stranger make sure you get into your fucking house. That's even worse. Maybe I'm dumber than I originally thought. So scratch that. Don't write a note to your fucking Uber driver, but have a buddy system, okay? You don't want anybody going in there and raping you, especially if you're, that's terrible if you're a woman, but it's really terrible if you're a guy because, everybody knows that if you get raped when you're a guy, it's just funny. But, anyway, yeah. So don't write a note, but do have a buddy system if you're going to go out so you don't find yourself in your neighbor's fucking house cuddling up to their gigantic dog. And what if you're going to have a gigantic dog, make sure he's going to eat the balls of whoever breaks into your house and not fucking sleep with them. Maybe he just, I don't know, maybe he just knew. Maybe he just knew that this guy was a gentle, drunken, wayward neighbor. I don't know. But if you're going to have a dog, make sure he's going to fucking eat the balls of anybody who breaks and enters. You know what I mean? You don't want a dog who just sits back and lets them cuddle and stuff. That's weird. So with that said, I hope you guys had a happy Jew beard. And, yeah. Do you guys have any resolutions this year? Everybody, I always say everybody and nobody, or always and never. I always speak in definitive languages. I need to stop that. Stop it. You always say that. But I feel like a lot of people almost did it again. That's how stupid I am. I make a mistake and then automatically correct myself to go right back into the mistake that I originally made. That's how dumb of a human being I am. But I feel like a lot of people crap on New Year's resolutions or people trying to change their life for the better. It's like, why? I get it. Like, it's a fad. People do this every year and then they don't stick to it. And it's annoying to watch, your fat cousin who would probably be me every year start up some workout routine or a new diet. And then they're like all about that diet. Like they've been an expert nutritionist for years. Meanwhile, they're, 3,000 pounds overweight. Like I get that it gets annoying a little bit, but how about some encouragement to some people? You know what I mean? Like, let's throw out some encouragement. Did you guys make any New Year's resolutions? Did ya? I did. I'm trying to change my my eating habits. I want to eat less. Stop shoveling food into my friggin' suck hole. like I'm gonna go into the Great Depression or something. Like I'm never gonna eat again. That's how I eat every meal. I go into every meal with the mindset that I'm never eating again. And then I do that 6 times a day for the past 4 years. And now I have sleep apnea. So that's kind of fun. That's a fun fact. So I'm trying to change that about myself. Stop shoveling food into my face. And another goal that I made is I want to go to the gym 5 days a week. And that's my goal is I haven't set any weight goals or weight room goals, but I do want to make it to the gym 5 days a week. And that's a goal that I set for myself for this entire year. Do something active in the gym 5 days a week. And so, yeah, with that, changing my eating habits, I'm trying this intermittent fasting, which I've tried before, and it's helped me out. But truthfully, I don't even know what it is. I know you don't eat for, a period of time, and then you can go ahead and eat. And yeah, so I hope that's very clear for you guys, because I know, I hope my language didn't throw you off, my medical terminology there. You eat and then you don't eat. That's like, no shit, Nate. That's what a fast is, where you don't eat. And then when that's over, then you eat. We all know that. So you don't need to explain to us what fasting is. So yeah, I'm doing the intermittent fasting, and I think that's helping me be more angry, and it's also helping to get my attitude in the absolute opposite place that I want it to be the majority of the time. So I just get angry, and I'm also impatient too. So that's fun. So I don't eat till noon, and then from about noon, and then I stop eating at 8 at night. Well, I don't eat like consistently from noon to 8. Like I'm just like on the end of a treadmill. Have you guys seen that video where the one dude is laying at the end of the treadmill, and then there's another guy just dumping crackers onto the treadmill like a conveyor belt, and they're going all into his mouth? Yeah, I don't do that from 12 to 8 with just food. So, because I think that would be a little counterproductive. That wouldn't be smart of me to do that. But I am trying to change my eating habits. And one of the things that I'm really trying to do is just look at my life from a 1,000-foot perspective, as instead of like a 10-foot perspective. Like, and what I mean by that is, instead of setting a weight goal, like I want to be at this weight and I want to be at this BMI, I'm setting an all-around active lifestyle goal. Like I want to be active, 5 times a week. You already said that, Nate. I know. I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, speaking of being irritated, you know what the most annoying question you can ask me is? If you want to annoy me and crawl up my butt and all the way through my intestines, past my rib cage and my heart, and then bounce off my tongue like a trampoline into the sinus cavities, you probably get lost in there for a minute, and then wiggle up into my brain and just annoy the living shit out of me. You know what question you asked me? Here's the most annoying question to me. What are you doing? I hate that question. So I go to bed last night a little bit after my wife. I stayed up a little bit later. She went to bed earlier. And I go upstairs. I go into my bedroom, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. And my wife, what are you doing? It just, for some reason, it's like, what the hell do you think I'm doing? I'm trapping lions right now. I'm I'm reading the dictionary. I'm skipping rope. What do you think I'm doing? I'm getting ready for bed. Like, I hate that question. What are you doing? Because you know what that means? I hate that question from, I love that question from my friend's aspect, because if my friends call me up and they're like, what are you doing? It means like, hey, like, I want to spend some time with you. I want to hang out with you. When my wife asks me, what are you doing? It means you're not doing what I want you to do right now. There's like some aspect of control, like she, like, what are you doing? She should just change it, like, stop doing what you're doing and immediately do what I want you to do, which is shut the fuck up and get into bed. That's probably what she meant. Like, I'm over here rustling around. She's trying to sleep. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't know, guys. So, yeah. That's an annoying thing. Boy, this was a fun episode, wasn't it? Sometimes you just got to get stuff off your chest. Sometimes if you got to have a friend to confide in, sometimes it's not always positive. You can't have the positivity without the negativity, right? So you have a friend, and if you don't have a friend, you start a podcast. You start a podcast and you cry into a microphone, and you complain. You throw it onto iTunes. Watch some people download it, and then you question everything you said on the podcast for the next 7 months. And you just got to do that sometimes, You just got to do that sometimes. Well, that's all I got for this week. And check us out on Instagram, on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. And if you have any questions, email us at thetipsypollock@gmail.com. And I think we may take some calls next week. I'm not sure. We'll see. I might do some phone interview stuff. So stay tuned. But thank you for listening this week. And I want you to know that I love you. Bye.
Treat me like a low-down stupid fool. Wasn't I your love, your sweetest song? And now it's over. Good Lord, darling. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. Treat me like the worst thing you ever seen. Treat me like the worst thing you ever seen. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so bad. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so bad. Treat me like the worst thing you ever had. Treat me like the worst thing you ever had. I'm so alone, like I might die. It's just so sad. I cry and cry. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. I know you don't love me, but you don't have to be so mean. Treat me like the worst thing you've ever seen. Treat me like the worst thing you